Good evening, everyone. It's your girl, Marcy Thomas, and I am so thrilled to be back with you for another episode of the BGC Book Club. And actually, this is my second night in a row being here, so that is a rarity, but I still am glad to be here with you again with someone that I have been following for a while, have had the opportunity to talk to in the past, and really excited to introduce you all to her. So, please come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let us know where you're joining us from. I am actually coming to you from the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia, originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I've lived in Detroit and, a whole bunch of other places in between, a couple of which I was just talking to our guest about. So if this is your first time here, welcome to the BGC Book Club. You are joining us at a very exciting time, as next month we're heading into our 6-year anniversary. So welcome, and we hope that you will sit and stay a while in this space. So tonight I'm really excited to talk to someone, a foxy lady by the name of Fox Jones. Now, she is a woman of many skills. As a veteran, mother, and poet, she knows what it takes to thrive in unique spaces. She's originally from Edenton, North Carolina, and her lifelong dream of becoming a writer has been a constant in her life. Her love for writing began in elementary school with every poem that she wrote, and that spark of poetic expression never fizzled out as her life unfolded. Now, she's currently writing books, which of course is why she's in this space. Her debut novel was When the Tiger Lily Blooms, which follows a female veteran rocked by the suicide of her best friend. And she evolves into a professional assassin of all things to annihilate the individuals who ultimately were responsible for the deaths of her friends. Now, in this book that we're going to be talking about tonight, this is a continuation of that heroine story. Now, of course, you can start here and go back, whatever the case may be. But I love the fact that Fox decided to continue with that pretty dynamic story. And she currently resides in Florida with her husband, who is on active duty in the Air Force. They're three boys and a playful beagle. And when she's not writing or reading, she enjoys traveling, listening to music, and any type of reality TV. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and welcome the wonderful Fox Jones to BGC Book Club for the first time.
Hey.
It's so good to see you here in this space. It's such a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we had an opportunity of somebody jump. Okay, Georgia's in the house. We got Atlanta, the ATL. We have got Augusta. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Come on. Okay, yes, and people pop in from everywhere. Every now and again, we get some overseas too, so you never know who might show up. But I am so thrilled to have an opportunity to speak with you again. Last year, we met during the preliminary conversations leading up to Black Writers Weekend. And here we are almost a year later having a conversation, just me and you. So I'm happy about
that.
Yes. So as I mentioned in your introduction, you are a woman of many skills. You're a veteran, a mother, a writer, a poet. There's so much going on with you, Fox, but just tell us a little bit about you. We love to know things about the people who write the books we love to read.
Okay. So, as you said, I'm a vet. I've been retired now. Husband just retired. So we're living that chase our kids life right now. One's the oldest one, he's 25 doing his own thing. The middle child, he's a senior this year. So we're getting ready for graduation and ramping up for the youngest, who will be graduating next year.
Oh, wow.
So we're really looking forward to our next phase in life. But mainly, besides writing, I do like to cook. I do like to listen to music. A lot of things that are inspired by music when I write. And of course, I do love me some good reality TV and some documentaries. I mean, I love to binge those.
I love that. Some of the things that I enjoy as well, and I didn't mention it when I first came on, but I am an Air Force veteran. I didn't stay as long as you did, but that's something else that we have in common, both, being veterans of the Air Force and, having had that experience. So there are certain things, when we read about our heroine that, I didn't have her experiences, but I definitely know what it's like to be in the military. So, as I was saying in your intro, you have loved writing since you were
Hmm.
a shorty, as they say.
Yeah.
So when was it that you really discovered a love for writing? And I'm going to assume that it was a love for reading that led to a
Oh
love
yeah.
for writing.
It's always that one teacher that sparks you. And although that, when you're in English class, they have you read these stories and things, but it was actually my junior year. It was my English teacher, Mr. Turner, and he gave me this book, and it was by Ralph Ellison, Invisible Man. And he
Ooh,
said, I think you would appreciate how layered and how great this is. And when you're done reading it, I want to report on what you think. Not what it is about, but what you think.
oh, wow.
And that has really stayed with me. And then after that is like, you know what? Then the next year it was a base wide contest to write what will Martin Luther King Jr. say in the year 2000. And
Wow.
I actually wrote it as a speech. And when we had to present it, everybody was reading from cue cards, that type of thing. I actually did it from memory. And
Okay.
from that, after that, it was like, you know what? I like to write. And in the military, after a while, you're busy with life and you tend to
Mhm,
drop it. You may journal here and there, but you don't really take it seriously. And it
mm.
wasn't until I actually had my kids and thinking, like, you know what? Let me just write what I'm feeling. And it just slowly evolved into what is now Petals and Gems,
Yes, your
my
book
book.
of poetry.
So, my
Yeah.
poetry book. So that is where that came from.
Okay. Okay. And so you started out in terms of putting things out into the world, I would say, with poetry.
Yes.
So, what is it that you love about poetry?
It's because poetry, it has no bounds. It's about you just say what you think, and there are times where it's the only place where you could just say what you think and not even be judged by it. If you
Hmm.
don't even have the words to say, you could just say it free form,
Hmm.
and for somebody, it would make sense.
Yes, yes, I do love poetry. And actually, next month is National Poetry Month. So,
Yes, it is.
yes, hopefully, you'll get some opportunities to share that. And actually, this book starts out with a poem. So, there's that. So we know that you love poetry. So making the leap from poetry to
Right.
writing books about assassins and murder and intrigue and mystery and all of that, where did that leap? Well, you're still doing both. Be clear about that. But what was it that led you to really want to when you sat down and decide to write a story or actual book, a fiction book? What was it that led you to want to write that type of story? Because it's very intriguing, very deep, very detailed.
Well, there are a lot of thriller, espionage, action books out there, but the male is always, especially the white male, is always the main character. If you
Mm,
have a female in there, she's either the sidekick or the side chick. And you
right.
really don't know much about her, and she's just there just to prop the man up. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'm a James Bond fanatic, but I also
Okay.
love Cleopatra Jones.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I need a story where there's a Cleopatra Jones esque, but not mythic,
Right.
actually human
Right.
to fulfill these roles. And when I was writing one of the poems, Tiger Lily in Petals and Gems, it was like, you know what? She really stuck with me.
Hmm.
So as I started writing and started talking about my friendships and just molding that, and then it just grew bigger and bigger. And then after that, I was retired at that point. So I'm like, oh, I
Okay.
got nothing else better to do. So let's see how far I can go. And
Yes.
then it just evolved into what was When the Tiger Lily Blooms.
I love that. I love that. Women are superheroes. Yes. Even though
Yes,
let's
they
not
are.
forget, sometimes we gotta lay down the cape, though. Let's be clear. But yeah, we can be. We have to be like Clark Kent. We put it on, but remember to take it off sometimes. 'Cause, they will wear us out, right?
Yes, it will.
But yes, thank you so much for that comment. But just it was really, reading There Will Be Thorns, just really, there's just so much in it that really just stood out to me. I was really thrilled to read it because of just the characters, because of things that they were going through. As I mentioned, as a person who was in the military, can relate to some of the things about military and rank and how things happen when you're in the military and things like that. So even with that, what was it that led you to say, I'm going to write a story and center it around women in the military, because that's very distinctive as well?
Well, I write about what I know. I've worked with them and how they are unsung heroes. A lot of times I've seen them sit back and quietly run things behind the scenes. I mean, I actually had a mentor who was nicknamed the Godfather.
Wow.
So, I mean, because she just ran stuff behind the scenes, but in public, she really was quiet, just let it play out. But behind the scenes, she was actually working to make things better for us women. And a lot of times, I mean, again, I really want to read that type of story. Again, you don't read stories about women in the military unless they're victims or unless, and if something tragic did happen to them, they not resilient in a way where they're like, look, I'm going to take you out.
Right. Yes.
So that's what again, like Toni Morrison said, paraphrasing, if you want to read something, write it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where that came from.
Yes. And I mean, it's so important to show Black women not
Mm-hmm.
as victims, that are
Mm-hmm.
going to take control over situations. And no, that don't mean y'all got to go out and kill people. We're not saying that.
Please don't. Please don't.
I
Please
said,
don't.
talking about, hey, take control.
Please don't.
Please don't. But just from the perspective of seeing people who went through things, and we're going to talk about some of the characters and things like that here in just a moment. But just to think that there are people who went through things and they made a decision to
Mm-hmm.
kind of fight against injustice and fight for themselves and all these sorts of things. And that's just a really powerful thing to see, whether it's in fiction or it's in real life. Especially when we look at things that are happening in the world around us
Oh
now.
yeah.
It's like
Yes.
you have the ability to fight back, to not, be victimized by the things that are happening around us, even when powerful people are the ones that are doing these things, to really be able to step up and, step out. So I love that. So let's get into Jamaica Adams,
Yeah.
aka Onyx. She is the heroine of There Will Be Thorns. So we can go back a little bit just to maybe give people some backstory. And again, I encourage folks to not only read this one, but pick up When the Tiger Lily Blooms, which is Fox's first book in this series. But just tell us a little bit about Jamaica, because she's pretty awesome.
So Jamaica was a military vet. She went through something very traumatic during her deployment and was discharged because of it. And when she and it really hit her when her best friend took her own life, and when she realized the reason behind her taking her own life was the same people that caused her traumatic event. And so with her other best friend Raven was a recruiter for this organization called DS Enterprises, and pretty much recruited her to become an operative.
Mm-hmm.
And after she went through the training and the evaluations and things, she was initiated, therefore given that code name Onyx, which, of course, if you know anything about gemstones, it protects you against negativity. It's a strong gem, and her mentor actually gave her that name.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a protector with her as well, which I did use from different mythological figures. Hers is Oye.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so anyway, she's going through, she got her orders, and it's the same people who did that to her that they did to her friend. She's
Yes.
going, and so after she did all of that, I'm not going to tell you what happened in the first
Nope.
book. You got
Oh,
to
yes.
go read the
No
book.
spoilers. Yeah. For either book.
Good.
No spoilers here.
Yes, you got to read the book. So,
Yes.
so after everything that she's been through and those events made her grow into herself,
Mm-hmm.
hence when the tiger lily blooms, and she became a lot stronger than she thought she ever could be.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the second book, she's actually leading a team.
Yes.
So,
Yes. She is leading a team and dealing with all the things and all the people. But I just want to talk about those nicknames though, because
mm-hmm,
everybody in the story or who works on her team has a different name. And
mm-hmm,
it's kind of like a way of them, I guess a way to protect themselves in their personal lives as well. But I
mm-hmm.
just found that interesting that people were assigned names based upon different qualities that they had.
Yes. So if you work in that organization, you're either a gym name, which
Mm-hmm.
is you're an operative. So you're actually in the field doing the work, in your hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're a flower, petal name, which is your support staff. You're actually helping the gym gather the evidence and actually telling them where to go, who to get, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the support staff are the flowers, and the gym names are the ones who are actually in the field doing the work.
Yes. And this is an organization that's owned by a woman.
Yes.
Yes, which I think that's pretty powerful as well. Seeing women just take charge, take control, and dealing with a lot of different issues. But of course, since of the military background and all of that, in this particular book, people that are a part of the military play a big part of the story and what's going on. So that was
Yes.
just interesting to see. Also, the fact that in a space like that, folks are assassins, right?
Yep.
Trained killers. And which if you're in the military, depending on what your role is there, I mean, we have to be real, that's what it's all about.
Everybody's a soldier first with a gun in their hand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I was telling Fox before we came on, I worked in accounting and finance. I was behind the desk. I was making sure people got paid, right? I
but we
was
were grateful.
Yes, I was nowhere near a gun, but I didn't know how to shoot one though. I did have to go through that process, so just understanding that, that's just a part of what it is, rightfully or wrongfully, depending on what you believe in, that is a part of what it is. But to see this group of women who are doing this and being, led by a woman. So in this particular instance, um, there's some things that are going on behind the scenes. Of course, we can only give you snippets. We're not going to tell you everything because we want you to read the book. So I'm trying to say things without saying too much. So they get this new case, and now Onyx / Jamaica is put in charge, and she really has to figure a lot of things out about herself and
Mm-hmm.
the people that she's working with.
Yes, she does. And that is difficult for her because after everything that she had known was shattered in book one, she has to rebuild that trust again. Who does she trust now? Does she trust herself? Is she okay to trust herself at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Also with her team, does she trust them?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of things that build up to where she has to lean on what she knows, what she was taught, and actually become competent to actually lead this team to fulfill this mission. Because at the end of the day, she knows, hey, our mission is to protect the victims and to avenge the victims.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because this is all about victims and primarily kind of like SVU, primarily
Mm-hmm.
victims of sexual violence and those types of things.
Yes. Actually, the Enterprise, that organization deals with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I just centered on just one. It's like it has 5 different divisions, and it just centers on the one, which is major crimes and sexual violence. So,
Yes, yes. So along that line, I just mentioned SVU. I asked you this before, and you said you weren't going to be able to tell me, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You can drop in the comments. For those of you who do like to watch like crime dramas and these sort of things, like what is your favorite one to watch? I know that there is a debate about that in the book where the characters kind of get it. Well, this one's the best, or that one's the best.
Oh man, I got so many. I got True Detective. I love True Detective. Of course, Law and Order. That's like the baby. That's like the granddaddy of them all. And
Hmm.
its offshoots. Love that. Also, I like the political intrigue of Scandal and
Yeah,
How to Get Away with Murder. Those I love cerebral, make you think type series, and those are two I really hold really high up there.
yes, those are good. And just I was always telling you before, I tend to watch the ones that are true crime, which are probably worse because that stuff really happened. But those are the ones I tend to lean towards, just watching the stuff to see what happens. I guess it can even it can either make you really wise, keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah, second
Or,
guessing people like you could be.
yeah, you could be. And now that I'm saying that, if I'm honest, there's probably certain things. You never know. You never know.
Mm-mm.
You never know who you letting around you, so you better be careful. So that's a word for the wise. But yes, I really loved seeing how everybody worked together. But even when they worked together to solve these crimes, to solve these mysteries, to figure out who's who and what's what, you also wrote the characters in such ways that they didn't always agree, they didn't always get along,
Mm-mm.
but they ultimately figured out how to come together. That was one of the things that I put in here. One of the things I marked, because y'all know, if y'all watch, y'all know I like to mark stuff. She's like, no one can accomplish great things alone. You still need people to help you get there, no matter the background. So there
Mm-hmm.
were people that came from a whole lot of different backgrounds that found themselves in this work.
Yes. And that's just like even and that advice goes even today, no matter where you're at. If you still need to work with people to get the mission done. And you're not always going to agree, but you should respect each other enough and everybody's skills that they bring to the table in order to just get it done. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of things. That's what they tell you in the military too. Like, hey, y'all came from different backgrounds, different cultures. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to agree. As a matter of fact, you may duke it out in the back after we done. But at the end of the day, y'all need to come together and get this done.
Right, right. Well, one thing in this particular case that they are working on, well, the book is two different parts. So at one point we think, oh, okay, there's this thing that's happening over here, but then there's some things that happen in another place as well. But we really get to see what the underworld looks like and
Mm.
how things can appear one way. People can appear one way, but then there can be places that people go to, and it's a whole, another like underworld type thing. So for me, I'm like, in your brain, where did all that come from?
I was inspired basically by, of course, the seven deadly sins.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was inspired by this limited series on Netflix called The Fall of the House of Usher. Also, one of Edgar Allan Poe's stories, Mask of the Red Death. I love me some
Mm-hmm.
Edgar Allan Poe. So to create that underworld, those were my thoughts. I actually had a mood board and put all my thoughts up there, like, okay, how do I want this to go? And that's how some of the rooms are divided the way they are.
Yes, because it's within the La Dama Roja, La Puerta Obscura. This
Mm-hmm.
is a place where these people go for a party, but it's a party beyond parties.
Yeah.
And the corridor of sins. And like you said, it's the seven deadly sins. And in this space, every room that people can go into are certain hallways and certain colors and certain icons, for lack of a better thing to call them, that
Mm-hmm.
symbolize, or certain symbols for these rooms. And as I was reading this, I'm like, wow, Fox like really went deep into this. I mean, even like the type of food that people would eat based upon the room they were in. But yeah, you did some good writing with that.
Thank you. I actually had fun with that one. I mean, that was one of the ones where I didn't feel restricted, just go crazy with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. but to think that there probably are some places that we don't know about.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past today's society at all. At all.
Go and got your little secret code, your little secret, amulet or whatever.
Oh,
Be like, what's going on in here? Yeah, just the thought of it. But even in that, also just thinking about the nature of people, because like, who wants to go to places like that?
you be. I mean, everybody. I mean that scene. I mean, that whole scene was to basically feed everybody's hidden, buried desire, and
Mhm.
so everybody got a price. Everybody
Everybody
got
got a
a.
price.
Everybody got a vice.
Every-
So
yeah. So yeah, that was just really good. Just reading it and just to think about that and your imagination and figuring out those things. So, in terms of your writing, when you are putting a book together, how do you kind of know where it's going before you get started? Do you plot everything out, put it on a board and figure? I see the look on your face, or do you kind of like have an idea and you just start writing and things go from there?
I would love to say I outline it.
Okay, you
I
would
would
love to
love to
say that.
say I would love to say I organize, but honestly, it was going to go a whole nother direction. It wasn't even supposed to go in
Okay,
the direction of what it was supposed to be.
really?
Yes, so I had to actually take that and put it away. It's coming in another form,
Gotcha.
but I had to listen to the characters themselves and be like, yeah, we don't want to go there. We want to go here. And by
Wow.
the time I wrote everything, it's like, okay, this doesn't make sense. So I'm going to take that out. And this is what we're going to go with. But to be honest, I didn't plot it. I didn't outline it. I didn't.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
So this was not the book that you planned to write when you sat down.
No, not at all.
It's so good. So I guess that's the whole thing of being moved by the muse, so to speak. Let the muse move you.
Yes.
Wow, because it's a really good piece of work. We
Appreciate
have
it.
a comment here. Joe Mannix. Oh, I remember Mannix. I'm old enough. I know Mannix. Oh, and Nancy Drew,
Oh,
for
yes.
me, I miss my FBI agent. Calling FBI agent. I scored 99.9% on the test. Wow,
Mm.
that's deep. Okay,
Woo.
well, that's a story right there. Like, how come you didn't?
Exactly.
How come you didn't do it? But that's another story for another day.
You know what?
Because I mean, really, if you think about it, and I mean, let's just think
Mhm.
about that for a second. I mean, there are things that are good and bad about certain agencies. We do know that. We do realize
Mhm.
that. But I would venture to say we need more women of color in those spaces, because there are certain things, that they can bring a certain level of expertise or finesse to.
Yes. Definitely, and especially with women of color, we are. I want to say that we are tuned in because we know how it feels to be ostracized. So we don't just jump to it and say, "Ooh, they're." We look at it like, "Hey, why are they acting that way? There's got to be something that's going on for them to act this way." We don't just jump to what is right in front of us because we have learned that, hey, just because it's out there doesn't mean that's what it is. We
Mm-hmm.
have learned how to, hey, let's investigate, let's dig, and then figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely makes a difference. Do you mind telling what you did when you were in the service? Is it okay to say?
I worked around a lot of computers,
Okay. Yeah.
so did a lot of computers and stuff like that, data analysis, and data processing. So you really had to be attention to detail and meticulous in what you did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And understanding how things loop together, work
Yep.
together, all those sorts of things. So yeah, that's and you're even in your book. That's one of the things that there were the people who went out and kind of boots on the ground people
Mm-hmm.
who did all the stuff, go out doing all the killing or all the investigating and looking, going to different places and stuff like that. But then there were the people who had to be behind the scenes and like collect the data and be able to to see what that's all about and all of that. So it definitely
Mm-hmm.
requires I mean, just like if you watch any of those TV shows, there's always people doing a whole bunch of different things.
Oh yeah.
You know. Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the things. Just thinking about. Oh, and I'm gonna get the name wrong, but there was like the little, I'm gonna call it Alexa, the AI thing.
Oh, Crystal.
Crystal, thank you. I knew I was gonna get it wrong, but Crystal, who was like always there to help Onyx, as she was out and about, almost like an earbud, so people just think you're on the phone or whatever. But
Right.
it's this high intelligence that could kind of direct her and tell her what to do and where to go and all of that. So that's definitely a new type of technology.
Yeah, I did want to introduce something. And it wasn't supposed to be a beta test. And her friend Aster, who was her analyst in the first book, actually
Mm-hmm.
got moved and created Crystal just for her. And not, but if you actually, I'm not going to say everything. You need to read the book, but she's there as a support and as more of a support, and not as a hey, do this, do this, do this. If this is happening, this is happening. Is more of a bounce ideas off type person and then go from there where what the best case scenario is. And I was thinking about it with like the old school cartoon Thundercats, and Lionel always had Jaga. That is what I wanted Crystal to be.
Oh wow, I love that. I love that kind of to advise. But she also had a sense of humor, so it wasn't just,
Yes.
raw facts. She would check her when she was
Yeah.
acting up,
Yes, she did.
So she was a lot of fun. Crystal was. She would get in her ear literally and just
Yes.
tell her about herself. The little man she was looking at, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
yes, all of that. All of that. So we have a comment about the FBI situation. Let's see. I got spooked after learning that a lot of agents were getting killed. Oh, ooh, yeah. I guess that would be a reason not to go. The U.S.
Yeah.
wasn't reporting it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
that
what else was
that
there?
that would do it for me.
Yeah, I believe that they sent me into the most dangerous situation because I was young.
But that also means that you get the job done because nobody will suspect it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So
That's true. Yeah, because that's the thing. Even with this agency, with Onyx and Citrine and all the other people that they were working with, a lot of folks would not have suspected them. So that's the other good reason, because if people can get in and they're not thinking that you're going to be there for that reason. They think, oh, it's just some cute girl coming to the party, some cute
Yep.
girl hanging at the club, whatever hanging out by the pool, whatever it is, and they're not necessarily going to suspect that you would be, the person that would ultimately take them out.
Exactly.
So of course we see, this big thing that happens here in the States, and then a lot of the agents end up taking a vacation and they end up in Europe. So I want to talk about that because I know we both had experience being in the military and being in Europe. So like they're in London and a couple other places that they went or at least supposed to go. So are those places in Europe part of your experiences or places you may have traveled to?
Yes, and I will say Christmas time in Europe is a very cool experience. If you've never been, I suggest you go because they party from November to January.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it's if you're into Christmas, you go to Europe. And when I was stationed in England, that's one of the things that I did when I was on leave and things. I went to the different Christmas markets, and one of them was Bruges, which is where they went.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Bruges, and Cologne is my favorite one. That's the one I went, and that's where they went to. So I really want to incorporate that. Not only are they always at high alert and everything, but they're also human. They also take
Right.
breaks,
Yeah.
and I wanted to showcase that hey, they are human. These are not super machines that operate at this level, and they don't have a chance to come down.
Right.
So yes, they do take breaks, and that was what that was supposed to be.
Yeah. We're not telling you everything. We're just saying that they went, right?
Yep.
But of course, there's some things that are happening that are international, so we'll just leave it at that. But yes, but I enjoyed being able to see that because being stationed in Spain, and I got a chance to travel to different places. And Fox is absolutely right that being overseas is just a whole nother vibe. With anything that has to do with holiday, especially
Oh yeah.
Christmas, or just even the way that they live in general is just really free and open type of things. I talk about like going to the clubs. I can remember
Mhm.
going to the club. The Spanish club wasn't even open till like 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning.
Woo. Yeah, I remember I did a vacation in Canary Islands, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. But yeah, we would be, and the crazy thing of it is, we would go to the club at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and people would be outside with the whole families at 2 or 3. I mean, like, shouldn't y'all be?
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't y'all be in bed? What are y'all doing?
And then they probably say the same thing to us. But yeah, we would leave the club at like 7 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
go back to the military base, go get some breakfast, and then go to
Yep.
bed.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a different life, a different experience. I'm glad that you included that so people can get an idea of what that could look like, and the fact that even though these people that might have these jobs that are very intense and dealing with some really tough issues, that they, as you said, they are human. They get an opportunity to party and and go shopping and
Mm-hmm.
eat good food and all those sorts of things, that we get to see that with them as well. Um, what's a couple other comments? Oh, overseas, you
Oh.
stick out like a sore thumb because your personality. Yeah, a magnetic personality. Yeah, and I mean, when you're black and American and they know that, you're gonna stick out anyway, just because.
Mm. Oh, they know you're American.
Yeah, they
They
know. Yeah, and that was another thing. I know you experienced it. That they can tell whether you're American or like if you're from the motherland. They can
mm-hmm.
tell. And I mean, not just necessarily because of the way that you speak. It's something about American, I'm about to say Negroes, but
Well,
they
how
can,
I was
they can
clocked
tell. Oh, they can tell.
how I was clocked being American was that I was sitting in a restaurant by myself and I looked comfortable.
Hmm.
And the owner said, "You've got to be American." And I'm like,
Wow.
I didn't even say anything. She's like, "Okay, you just confirmed it for me." But she said, to be perfectly honest, every women here, they go with a group of girlfriends or their
Hmm.
significant other.
Hmm.
And in my experience, only American women sit by themselves and they are perfectly comfortable sitting
Hmm.
by themselves. And this was before smartphones. So I had me a book and I was reading it, waiting on
Hmm.
my food and drinking my wine. And they were
Yeah.
just like, yeah, we could definitely tell.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the same because, well, this was like the late 80s. And yeah, I did a lot of traveling and stuff by myself. My mother freaked out when she found out after the
Mine did too.
I did a lot of things on my own, and I was fine, so, and people know, yeah, they can tell that you're American or whatever. But yes, just again being able to see that in the book, and it also not just from the perspective of having these friends or co-workers go, it gave them a chance to know each other in a different way as well,
Mm-hmm.
because you can have the people that you're always working with and you know them in that context, but you
Yep.
don't necessarily know who they are as people. So that was good to see and like get to learn more about a lot of the different other people in the book.
Yes. It also, I did want to convey that as well. Just like you said, that hey, who you are at work is not who you are outside. Just like when I go to work, there are two different sides of me, and neither shall meet.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I wanted them to actually get to know each other on that level. As hey, we ain't got no job, we don't have to go anywhere. We are just having fun. We're enjoying the holiday, and then boom.
Yeah, because we're gonna tell you a little, but not a lot. We'll just say the case continues. Yeah, and there are things that they have to do over there as well, and it's also, yes, I love the onyx gem, so symbolizes protection, strength, focus, and willpower.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. And then each, again, as we've kind of said, the other one, same thing. There were things in their nature that had something to do with the names that they were given. But before I go to my next point, I want to skip back to something you said earlier, though. You were talking about their protectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how Onyx
Yes.
had a particular protector. And
Yes.
I could appreciate the fact that you incorporated that into the book
Mm-hmm.
because it just gave another dimension to the storytelling and to acknowledge the fact that people do have different ways of feeling protected and who they reach out to when they're seeking that protection.
Mm-hmm. Um, I didn't come into that until later in my life. And to be honest, it was, and being in the military, you talk to different people, and then you realize you have roots. No matter where you're from, you all have the same type of roots.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things is what you believe, who you reach out to, whether it's the ancestors or God or whoever you reach out to. And what I wanted was, I wanted to be inclusive of everybody.
Yes.
And just so with your personality, with who you are, let's pair you with a protector of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the things that I really wanted to convey. And uh, yeah, so I'm not going to go further to that, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So each operative has a protector.
Yes.
And
Yeah. And it's based on the Orishas.
depending on the background, like with Pearl, for example, hers is based on her Samoan background, her Samoan
Mm-hmm.
Hawaiian background.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yes, for Onyx, it's the Orishas for her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I could appreciate seeing that because again, now we're starting to see people be more. I'm not going to say that they're more inquisitive because people always have been inquisitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess a lot of people are more open about the fact that they may,
Yes.
Orishas or African traditional religions or other religions or systems of belief. So I think it's good that you were being inclusive in that way
Thank you.
because that is important for people to see that. Yeah, and the name Onyx and Long is a wow for people who know me. Okay, okay, I love that. But yes, just to open that up because actually my mom and I were having a conversation about that just the other day. Like, hey, everybody is on a different frequency.
Yes.
And it's okay that people are on a
Yep,
different
it's okay. Just like in the book before, I will say this though, they did a type of they read bones.
yes.
And to see that they're from different parts of the country, but they all knew what that meant and what that entailed. I really wanted to show that because it's like, hey, it's not just to one region, one person. There are different types, but it all means the same thing.
It all means
And
the same thing. Yeah, and reading that scene, it harkened me back to watching Sinners when Annie's like taking the stuff and she's like,
yeah,
and she's like, mm. So yeah, I mean, these are real things that people have looked to, have relied on, have leaned on, for centuries, and
yes,
it's a part of who we are as people of African descent and others as
yes.
well. Not just us, but So thank you for that as well. So I'm like, okay, girl, she going deep with it. Oh goodness. But I mentioned briefly that of course, there is, in the description it says this is a thriller about the cost of ambition. And we're seeing what Onyx has to go through in terms of her goals and her dreams and things like that. The violence of silence, what it means when you don't speak up and say
Mm-hmm.
what it is that needs to be said, or you aren't open with what's happening around you, and what happens when integrity threatens the wrong people.
Mm. Well, when it comes to that, the right thing to do isn't always the right thing to do. And
Mm.
when you have people who live by the letter of the law instead of the spirit of the law, it's that's where your tension comes from, because it's like, come on, common sense.
Mm-hmm.
I know what that says, but the
Right.
spirit is to protect the person. Just
Mm-hmm.
because we did not follow the letter of the law, as in, I'll give an example. The person died and you want to bury him. The law says you have to bury him 6 feet under using this casket, but the spirit of the law is saying, hey, just we need the person buried.
Right.
That's it. However, when somebody's like, you know what, that person really wanted to be cremated and spread their ashes into the river,
Mm-hmm.
but the law says we have to bury him in this casket. It's like, come on, spirit of the law versus letter of the law.
Mm-hmm.
And Onyx had to realize in the book that conundrum there. Do I follow the letter of the law or do I follow the spirit of the law? And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, she, with Citrine helping her in that, she actually followed the spirit of the law, because at the end of the day, this protects my people, this honors what is going on, and it does not harm anybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, that was a good way to explain that. 'Cause I know we're trying not to do spoilers here.
No.
I still don't let you think on it, and that's why I gave you the space to do that.
I appreciate it.
Because we're not spoiling here, but this is just such a powerful book to me. And again, I'll admit I hadn't read the first one. Now I got to go back and read it because I want to see what happened, initially to even, put these ladies on this trajectory to, really get them moving in this way. You know what I mean? Because again,
Mhm.
like we said earlier on, there are a lot of people who find themselves in tough situations and they don't fight back. They don't know how to fight back. They
Mhm.
don't know how to stand up for themselves. They don't know, they can end up being where they just go insular and carry a lot of stuff
Mhm.
instead of figuring out how to let some things go.
Yes, and that's even more detrimental. Detrimental because you have to let it out, and it's going to find a way out.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it's going to find a way out. Do you actually guide it out, or do you just let it explode? And
Mhm,
that's one of the things that's what that agency is there for.
mhm,
Is to, hey, we have victims and they are crying out because nobody believed them, nobody protected them, and those types of things, and they need a way out.
yes,
So a lot of, for them, is closure. Whatever that closure may be, whatever that may look like, that is up to the DS Enterprise to decide.
yes, yes, yes. That is something. Now, as someone who was in the military and writing stories that have military elements, have any of the people that you were in the service with asked you questions about your writing?
Oh yes. Oh yes. They're like, where was this when you were in? And a lot, and mainly with the my short story collection, the gardening rooms, they really were like, yeah, I remembered that, or wow, that does happen, and all types of things. So yeah, they have reached back out and said, you it's still going on
It's
to
still
some
going
extent.
on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. Oh, thank you. Somebody said after I read the books from the authors that you interview, I go back and rewatch them. Yeah, so you got to go get both of Fox's books. Now, that's a good segue to the question I was going to ask you. Where are your
Mhm.
books available, Fox?
So they are available on Amazon and also Book Funnel as well.
Okay, so and they are, I have, a physical copy. You have the electronic copies available as well.
Yes.
So let's talk about that a little bit. What was it that made you decide to go more of a independent slash small press route?
I was kind of conflicted because when I first came out, I was under the impression of you are nobody unless you have a big company behind you. You have to have a
Mm,
big company. And luckily I had some good mentors that talked to me and said, okay, here's what it is. And I really, and after they told me the differences, I really wanted more control of what I say
Mhm.
and how I put it out there. And
Mhm.
so self-publishing did a was a way for me instead of trying to chase that. I ain't saying that will never happen,
Right.
but as far as for right now, I like being in control of my marketing, my publishing, what I get to write, how it sounds, and
Mm.
how it's presented. So that's why I went the self-publishing route.
Yes, I love that for you. So in that though, you still have done a lot of the other things, like editing and all those different sorts of things. Ooh, I see a look
Oh
on
yeah.
your face.
Ooh, I have a great editing team. That's all I'm going to say. Shout out to them because, yeah, I couldn't do it. That's one of the things I hate doing. So they tell me it's like, oh, you know what? Okay,
Yeah.
but
So for people who are thinking about writing and perhaps going the independent route, what
mhm.
suggestions, of any, would you give to them?
Well, one, I would say do your research. Don't just jump into the frying pan. Do your research. Find a good book project manager because that's what actually helped
Mm,
me.
okay.
Because when I first was starting out, I said, I got this manuscript. Now what?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I thought you could just put it out there and yay, and I'll be discovered. And luckily, I had a great book project manager who's like, yeah, hold on, first. There's a
Hmm.
process to this. There is a process. So not only did she walk me through the process, but what she also did was hold me accountable in each step.
Okay.
So, which is what I love. So that's another thing too. You have to have somebody that is willing to hold you accountable. Not just hold your hand, but hold you accountable to doing your part.
That's so important. You know what? That's important in a lot of reasons, a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
That you just like confirm something for me, because earlier today, I mean, we always talk. I mean, sometimes the conversation gets way off. I know Matt 204 knows that we've talked about some crazy stuff in this room. But earlier today I was talking to a coworker of mine about some things that I'm working on in terms of health, wellness, all those sorts of things, and she was like, "Well, how can I support you? In what ways can I hold you accountable?" I mean, I don't want you to hold me accountable, doggone it. But I mean, it's just the fact that sometimes we don't really want it. We want it, but we don't want it.
Or we're too scared to do it because we're afraid of what may happen, or the result may not happen in
Ooh,
the way we
excuse
think of it in our head.
me. Right, right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I'm thinking, like with a book, that's your baby. You sat with
Yes.
it for, sometimes years, months, whatever the case may be, working on it, refining it, and things like that. And sometimes it gets in the hands of someone else, and it's precious to you because it's your
Mm-hmm.
baby. And being able to let go a little bit and say, okay, this isn't changing it, but it's perhaps making it better.
Yes. That's one of the things too. And a great book project manager isn't going to change your voice. They know what you need and they're going to be like, okay, this is what you need to do. And you need to do it by this time. Now, whether
Mm.
you jump or do that or not, that's up to you. But I'm telling you what you need to do. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things. And that relationship is so important. And I mean, she's been there with me through all my books.
I
So
love
shout out to Sherry Simmons for that because Lord knows I would have been lost without her.
That's wonderful. And thank you for saying her name in this space.
Mm-hmm.
That's important for people to know. So of course we got Jamaica in this book, and got one and two, and of course the
Mm-hmm.
way that two ends is a probability of others. So are you looking at this being her story or her line of stories being an ongoing, or several iterations? There's some, I can't think of any of the names right now, forgive me, but a lot of times people
Mm-hmm.
do, like, they'll have a series that goes on for quite a while since people do
Like
learn to love that
yeah,
character.
Alex Cross. That
Yes.
one goes on.
Yes.
Um, right now is it's a trilogy, so there'll be one more.
One more. Okay.
And then we may do an offshoot or something else. But for right now, what I'm planning, I actually planning this one. The next one's going to be the last one in her story.
Gotcha. 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 And so that means you have other things that you want to move in, delve into as well.
That universe will always be, and the way it's created, I can move however I want to move into it. It's all underneath that umbrella. But I'm also looking into uh three other projects I got going right now too.
I love
So
that.
spread my wings a little bit.
I love that. So are you did say, I know you retired from the military, but are you still working full time?
Yes, I am, but
Ooh,
I
nice.
make time.
Okay.
I make time to at least write at least an hour.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So you write like every day or like in pockets or
I've I don't do every day because that's just really unrealistic, especially with family.
right.
So I've actually made a promise to myself, and I have somebody holding me accountable at least 3 times a week.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And whenever you get a chance to like get a chunk,
Yep.
I imagine that's good because yeah, you got a lot going on, like with young
Woo.
people in your life, getting ready to go to college and sports and all these different things we were talking
Yep.
about before. That's a lot. So it's really a blessing, but it's also an encouragement to those who are watching who are interested in writing to let
Mhm.
them know that you can get it done. You can still do it. It might take,
Mhm.
a little longer, but that's okay if it takes a little longer.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint,
That's right. That's right. And to be able to tell the stories that you want to tell because, I'm not seeing this in other places.
which is good. I want to be unique, so which is good.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And that's the thing as well, not to be afraid to step out and tell your stories in your way because it's going to find you have a voice and that voice is going to find its audience.
I I really do want that, and you know what? I'm not. It will find. I'm. I wrote it in a way where we will find each other.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it.
Yeah, because it's like I've known you, and I read this, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I got to go back because that's the thing, and that's a lot of times what happens when people like they fall in love with your work and they want to know about the other things that you've written. So that's beautiful. I think that that's beautiful, and people will tap into this. And I got to get some of that poetry too, because as I mentioned, this book starts with a poem, so I want us to read some of your other poetry. So I love this, because last year when we had a chance to talk, it was me, you, and another person, and it was just
Yep.
more about writing in general. I didn't really get to know you in the way that I do now, my Air Force sister. So,
Yeah. Yes.
so I know you got a lot going on with the family right now, but in terms of maybe any, local events or any spaces that that you are going to be able to do, or are you primarily leaning into the virtual space right now?
Right now, the I'm looking at doing something during the summer during the lull period, but definitely do looking for Black Writers Weekend. I'm looking at that, and also License to Thrill, which is a book festival for mystery, thriller, suspense, especially Black authors. In Nashville from October 23rd, 24th. So definitely come out if you love the suspenses, mysteries, all that. This is actually for us by us.
I love that. What's the name of it again? I need to jot that down for myself.
License to Thrill.
License to Thrill. I'm writing that down because Nashville isn't too far from Atlanta.
And they have an Instagram and a Facebook page too. So
All right, so y'all who love the mysteries, please check that out because that could be a good space for you to find out about. Of course, we're sticking with Fox right now, but in
yep.
October, in the future, in the future,
Yes.
about some of the other events and authors and people that are telling these types of stories because I don't know. I think that these stories are important to tell. I
Yes,
really
they are.
They are, because if other people can write and read and enjoy a variety of types of storytelling, why shouldn't we be able to do the same thing?
And why can't we be centered in those stories?
Exactly. Exactly. So, Fox, thank you so much for doing this work. Thank you so much for coming here to talk about There Will Be Thorns. As she has said, you can go over to Amazon and find copies of this
Mhm.
book, as well as, let me look at the, you tell me the name because I'm going to look at it here, but you can say it quicker than I will. This one and when the tiger lily blooms. I just had to look at it on my little paper. But
Yep.
go look for both of those and read them. You can start here and go backwards, or you can start with that one and come to this one. This was actually only been out a week ago today.
Yep.
So
Only a week.
we're getting at the very beginning. So please consider going to get this book and reading it and talking about it with your friends, because trust me, you're gonna want to talk about it with your people.
And let me know what y'all think. I mean, I am open to hearing, and please don't be shy. I can be found on Facebook. You see it scrolling down, Instagram, and Threads. So please feel free to reach out.
Yes, please do that as well. Now, Fox, if you could hold on for me for just a moment, I want to just give people. Oh, somebody is Fox your maiden name?
No.
Is
Oh.
it a pen name? No.
Yes, it is a pen
Okay,
name.
I figured it was. Foxy Fox, yes. Well, I think she's asking because she's got people from, what did she say, from Chatham County, North Carolina?
Um, no, my people are from Chowan. So we're
Chihuahua.
from that Tidewater, Elizabeth City area.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so we got that question answered. If you can hold on for me for just a moment,
Okay.
please don't hang up just yet. I'm going to give folks announcements of the people that are coming between now and a week from now, which is actually going to be in the end of March. We're already at the end of the first quarter. Can you believe
Man,
that?
that's crazy.
Yes, time is flying, and in some ways it ain't flying fast enough, but we'll talk about that offline. You can read between the lines, but anyway. All right, sis. I will see you in just a second. And if everybody
Okay.
else can just hang on for me while I do these quick church announcements. All right.
Yep, gotta do the church announcements.
Yeah, I do church announcements. Thank you again, Fox. See you in a second.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you all for being here this evening for this conversation. Thank you to everyone who's going to watch it in the replay, because I know sometimes people are busy and can't catch live, but please watch in the replay. Please go ahead and share out the book. Talk about Fox Jones and both of her wonderful books, especially if you like those types of thrillers. You want to see Black Lady Assassins. That'll be right what you want to read. I see somebody dropping a comment here. Let me see what we got. Oh, her people from Chatham County. Oh, okay. Got it. So, in light of what's coming up over the next couple of weeks, now I'm going to tell you about Live Well Sister, because that's the Wednesday night show. So I'm going to tell you about that, as well as next Monday, just because we've got three wonderful artists, or they are artists, authors lined up for the rest of the month of March. So tomorrow we have Jamila Lemieux here to talk about Black Single Mother, and that is for our next Live Well Sister episode. So that is tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Then on Monday, I have been in the mystery bag for a minute, because actually last night's book, The Star Seekers, had some mystery in it as well. Next week on Monday, we'll be back to mystery again, and that's with Behind These Four Walls by Yasmin Ango, who's South Carolina girl. She lives in South Carolina. And then talking about church announcements, a week from today, instead of Wednesday, I'll be doing Live Well Sister on Tuesday. I have another obligation on Wednesday, but we'll be talking about call and response. So see, church announcements, call and response, 10 leadership lessons from the Black church. So if you're interested in just getting some leadership lessons and things that we have picked up and learned from the Black church along the way, get that next week, which will be the 31st of March. But all of these things will be posted on social media for those of you who are watching in real time. If you're watching it later, the videos may already be up by the time you see this one. So please take a look at those. And thank you, Sunny Days, for the comment. I love the BGC Black platform. I can't talk. And much success to you, Fox Jones. So much success to you. And those three books that I just shared will be ending up the month of March. And actually, next month, April, will be the 6th anniversary month for BGC Book Club. So they're going to see some flashbacks of people that have been here before, and some look forwards to things that we're planning to do in the future, along with your normal, regular, weekly or bi-weekly conversations. So please stay tuned, stay tapped in. If you are not already subscribed to the page, please go ahead and do that so that you don't miss anything that's going to be happening here over the next few weeks and beyond. So as always, thank you for your time, your energy. If you got a little bit more energy, come back and hang with me and Jamila tomorrow night. That's going to be a good conversation as well. And in the meantime, in the between time, please take good care of yourselves, and we will see you real soon. Take care.